The same but different. The political leadership of Gauteng is changing, although many see the incoming Premier as a continuity candidate following the resignation of David Makhura. Makhura has been at the helm of Gauteng for 9 years. He was elected in 2014 and re-elected in 2019. Lesufi is also the new chairperson of the ANC in Gauteng, will be sworn in at a special sitting tomorrow. The president spoke to the SABC yesterday and has already welcomed him into the post. To discuss, we're joined by political analyst and lecturer Dr. Fikile Vilakazi. Dr. Vilakazi, thank you for being with us. Both candidates and the president have been talking about a very smooth transition that's been planned, no drama. Do you expect it to pan out that way?
Good afternoon, Francis, and good afternoon to viewers at home. When you look at the relationship between Panyaza Lesufi and the outgoing Premier David Makhura, it seems to be a very good, political relationship since student days. If you follow their story and you listen to their history, so chances are that between the two of them, there's probably going to be less contestations. But I mean, we know in the eyes of the public domain, given be that as it may, that there are these rumors that the outgoing premier, is not really moving out smoothly, that he's being pushed from internal, arrangements and internal dynamics within the organization. So because of that, perhaps there may be some glitches here and there, but otherwise, I think between the two of the political people that we're talking about here, there's likely to be a smooth transition.
Talking about Makhura, he's been quoted as saying the party is giving him more time with his family. So that, I guess, adds to the speculation that you're talking about. But there's also speculation he may be given a ministerial post. I don't know if that's a promotion or a deputy post, depending on where you go. What do you think?
David Makhura has demonstrated very, very rare skills within the African National Congress, which is a skill of public administration, but more particularly when it comes to dealing with corruption. I mean, we would know that in 2016, he's one of the very few premiers that had to take a head of a department to court because of corruption scandal, about 800 million in terms of the tender challenges that happened there. And he has been working towards making sure that he produces clean governance. So my take is that I think if the ANC really wants to take him anywhere, it would be perhaps look at filling the vacuum that we have at national level around issues of public administration, but not just any kind of public administration, clean governance, issues of accountability, which he seems to have demonstrated very well in Gauteng. So that's my sense in that regard. And I think that he is probably preparing himself for that. He's not just going to sit and do anything. It is sort of a ritual in the African National Congress within the hierarchy of the organization that people grow in this particular manner. I think he's likely really to be one of the members of cabinet soon. We may see some reshuffles happening at a national level in preparation for 2024, because I think the ANC is also playing its game to see what kinds of candidates are going to be attractive to the people of South Africa, what kinds of candidates are going to sort of play the work or do the work of convincing citizens to vote the ANC, to remain trusting of the ANC, and so on. And they're trying to deploy those candidates strategically in various spaces, including in Gauteng, in the form of Makhura and Lesufi, towards 2024. So I think he will be going to cabinet.
And I want to ask you about Lesufi at that role of trying to impress residents. But first, Makhura, so you're saying he's an anti-corruption champion, but he has been at the helm during several scandals, the July unrest, the PPE scandal in Gauteng, and Life Esidimeni. I think a lot of questions there about his responsibility, if anything, as Premier when that ghastly situation occurred. But he's never been implicated. He may have been accused of many things, but do you agree he's never been significantly implicated in any way in any wrongdoing, in fact?
It doesn't seem like he has been implicated, Francis, directly. However, if one is a premier of a province and there are things like life acidemany, when we have such loss of lives because of maladministration, the PPE scandals as well in terms of COVID-19, where people's lives matter, where people die, and so on. So you can't say as a premier that you are immune to the allegations that are being lodged against that particular leadership. So he is a premier. He should have known about life acidemany. He should have been involved in one way or the other in approving the fact that people needed to be moved from those places to be placed in those NGOs that had no capability whatsoever to take care of the sick in the manner that happened and that we all know about now. So he does know. He is implicated in that regard, which is why really when you take the office of being a premier, or a leader of government, you take that responsibility as well of accountability. You cannot say that when your MEC is being found guilty that you are immune. It's happening the same with the former minister Uzweli Mkhize in terms of health, for example, around digital vibes. So these are the kinds of things, because there's something that is called authorization, there's something that is called approval, there's something that you call the line of management, and he is in that line. In fact, he is the first in that line to be able to make sure that whatever decision that is being implemented, he knows about and is involved. So in that regard, I really think that he can't be off the hook.
Yeah. Let's wait and follow as life acidemany continues to be looked at. Now, Panyaza Lesufi, depending on whether your kids got into the school you wanted them to or not, I guess that affects your support for him. But Lesufi has made an impression in the education portfolio in Gauteng. And he's got an incredible energy. He is available to the media often. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what he does about the potholes, the things he was talking about, crime, service delivery. Do you think he can radically change perceptions around ANC governance and really help the elections? Because the ANC knows it's in trouble in urban areas like Johannesburg.
Francis, Lesufi, look, I mean, these are the kind of people that you can't really doubt their political leadership. He's a seasoned politician. He is a generation of 1976. He's done his part as an MEC for education. I think that we need to point that out. However, he remains within an organization that is tainted, which is the African National Congress. He is bound by the culture of that organization. He is bound by the operational morandi of that organization. So whatever he does, he doesn't do it as Lesufi. And for that reason, particularly in the position of a premier, one needs to be a little bit skeptical. I mean, being an MEC is different from being a premier. One would need to watch and see really how is he going to be able to clean up the kind of allegations that the ANC is facing as an organization, not just as Premier Lesufi, because he doesn't have anything much against his name, of course, except the issue of racism in the schools, which has been fighting, I think, with AfriForum. And there's very little against his name, and is young, he's fresh. Probably people are going to say, let's give him a chance, but he is not Lesufi. We are talking about the African National Congress here that has really not delivered. I mean, under the leadership of the outgoing Premier Makhura, there's a list of things that citizens are complaining about as we speak. Now, Francis, between you and me, we know that hospitals are running out of water as we speak, right? Gauteng is water shedding. Load shedding is everywhere, including Gauteng. There's many things, e-tolls, transportation issues, issues of hospitals not having medication, unemployment rates rising, amongst young people. There's a list, I won't even finish it. The whole issue of local economics, right? The relationship that we have with African nationals in the country and in the context of township economy, the whole issue of xenophobia, that the government that has been led by the outgoing Premier David Makhura has not been able to deal with. So that's what he is inheriting. As much as he may have done well at the level of education as an MEC, there is that huge responsibility that he would need to bring all those things neatly together. He would need to clean up, and you require a very, very good skill of public administration. By the way, Panyaza Lesufi is a qualified administrator because he studied at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. He's got a bachelor in administration. So that is something really that we'll see. We'll just have to perhaps give it to time and say, will that contribute positively towards his leadership or not at this level of responsibility?
All right, thank you, Doctor. I think you've outlined clearly that it's a whole new ball game being Premier compared to being an education MEC. Dr. Fikile Vilakazi, University of KwaZulu-Natal political analyst and lecturer.